does Sam have what it takes to become the best in the world?
Talk to me about the Sam Long of early 2019.
Oh boy, the Sam of 2019 feels like longer ago than it was, to be honest, but I was incredibly hungry to prove myself. In college it was study and train, or train and study, but I think actually the studying might have come first then, and then the training came second. And I just moved out of my parents' basement. I'm 26 years old. I lived with them, all the way through college, just training my absolute ass off to be good and going to bed early and eating healthy and just doing everything I could possibly do. And a lot of it was out of necessity. So I made a deal with my dad when I graduated college, and I said, we basically said I have till 25 to prove I can make a living, to make a valuable livelihood and a career out of triathlon. And so I took that seriously, and I just think that hunger shone, and I was edgy and I was willing to do anything. When I was 19 and 20, I had absolutely nobody supporting me other than my parents and myself. They let me their car, and I was driving to the races, and I was sleeping in the back of an F-150 in 2018. I would have been 23 years old, and I raced 5 Ironmans. Oh, Sebastian Kienle has always been just the man. And I've got this video, but I went to Kona in 2015. I was 20 years old on the dot. I was 20 years old. I went there right as we're driving in. Sebastian, he's got his long hair. He was running on the Queen K. And literally I said, parents, pull over. And we stopped, and I was taking photos and selfies with him. And I mean, just the ultimate fanboy back then. And of course, it's hard not to look up to Jan, especially he's kind of got the same body type as me. So to see a tall, lean athlete succeed in that, and Jan's success story came later in life. He didn't start winning till he was 26, and then just really dominating. So I'm kind of hoping for a similar trajectory. And it was definitely Sebi and Jan and Lionel who set the example of what to do. The general opinion was that I was a clown. So I had to prove, obviously, to that whole outstanding triathlon world that I was the real deal. And then I hear from pretty much everyone who's more established, hey, I'm doing everything wrong, but I have such a belief in myself that I know I'm going to keep doing what I believe is right, even if other people tell me it's wrong. My passion got mistaken for cockiness. It's who I am, I guess, and I'm not gonna lie, I do have a brashness side to me, but it's usually in fun and good-hearted spirit. I remember absolutely everything everyone says, and I use it as my little piggy bank of storage. And when things get hard, and when I get unmotivated, or anytime I go into a race week, I remember what those athletes said, and I remember who said it, I remember what they said, and I remember when I'm racing them, and it helps me go deeper to prove myself to them. Basically, I got called out for the exact comment, is that
he trains like Tarzan and races like Jane, you know what I mean? Who can you easily beat?
Sam Long in an actual race.
Basically that they could easily beat me anytime. I think it went on to say too that I was the most obnoxious pro.
Who's the cockiest triathlete? Someone who hasn't earned it. Nowhere near earned it. Someone like Sam Long.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point I feel somewhat bad, because to be completely honest, these guys, they kind of gave me a hard time, but now they're so much worse than me. In some ways I can understand. I mean, I didn't have that great of results yet, but I was training the house down. And I've always said there's a lag between the hard work you put in training and the good results you get in racing. So yeah, I will not forget that video ever. Didn't really let a lot of the comments affect me, I guess. I always felt deep within that I had what it took. If I want to be in the sport, if I wanted to have a career, I better work harder than I've ever worked before. And when the races picked up, I was more ready than ever. I was more hungry than ever. I was thinking about the sacrifices I had made, and I was ready to prove it. And it all kicked off at Bear Lake, which is like the race that nobody should ever remember, but anyone who is there, I promise, is going to remember that race for the rest of their life, because it was a one-of-a-kind race. I camped out again, so I went back to my roots. I had to camp out. I mean, a lot of us had to camp out. There was nothing around. Everyone, all of the Americans were saying going into that, we're going to shut him up, we're going to shut him up, blah, 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 blah.
And Sam Long's going to beat us by about a lap and a half. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that it doesn't pan out for him the way that he hopes.
Yeah, I've raced Sam a number of times. He's got a lot of talent. Yeah, Sam and I have raced a few times.
It's great for people to talk online.
You're looking at the strongest legs in triathlon. Bring it on, fellas. And I woke up and I saw that this video was posted, and it was basically put together of all the comments everyone had said, and then it was me saying like, yo, 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 you're looking at the strongest legs in triathlon. Race morning, I'm ready to fire. It's me versus everybody else, baby, and that's exactly how I like it. I was like, this is it. If I don't prove it, I'm done. Like, my career might as well be over because I'll never come back from it. I went out and just had an absolute, I had an absolute heyday. You know what this is fueled by? Yo, yo, yo! That's how it's done, baby. I had forgotten. He did comment with the fire emoji. I honestly almost read it like he's giving me the fire emoji, like, oh, good work, but now come mess with the big boy and I'll show you how it's done.
Can you talk me through some of the beef that came about with you and Lionel in the early days?
Yeah, so Lionel and me, I actually believe Lionel started the whole thing. Okay, so I remember I was sitting here in Tucson. COVID had just hit. All the races had gotten canceled. I had gone up to Mount Lemmon. I was kind of riding, and I had gotten this one segment, and I had kind of commented, oh, got this one segment. You know, I got a direct message, and it basically said, like, you will never be as good as the quote-unquote lion. The lion will be. And I'm like, what? Since when is his nickname the Lion? The main goal is to race, and the main goal is to beat Lionel Sanders.
No, I don't need to watch this. I'm not going to rewatch this. Me doesn't want to race someone? Would love nothing more, especially with all this bullshit comments. Because I put these to bed in 2 seconds. You can trust me on that. Anyone who knows me knows that these comments are asinine in every aspect of the word.
And then he did a YouTube video and he said something like, he put me up on the YouTube and it said, oh, well, Sam got this segment, but that's only one small portion of the segment. You should go after the whole thing.
But then immediately Sam goes on to Instagram or whatever and says, oh, sorry about your luck, you missed it by 5 seconds. And it's some stupid KO, in my opinion. It's not like anyone who's here knows that the KOM doesn't start at a stop sign 1 mile before Mount Lemmon, but that's my opinion. So anyways, you poke the animal gets pissed off, and so here I am pissed off, and I'm gonna take that one from the stupid stop sign 1 mile before as well.
I was sitting there literally feeling sorry for myself, and I was like, I'm going out the door right now and going after the segment he had shown. Went after my first real attempt on Mount Lemmon today, and I'm off of Lionel by just 20 seconds, and I beat Phil. So I got a message for you guys. Lionel, I'm not stopping till I get you. I'm not leaving Tucson till then. It was actually my second ride for the day, but I was fueled by rage, and I went and I got it. And then I said, hey, I put on there, hey, Lionel, got this segment you called me out on. And then he said, that's still only half the mountain. You got to get the whole thing. And then, lo and behold, the battle was born. Yeah, so I think all of a sudden it started to feel like, okay, I've got some momentum at my back. The next 2 months after Cozumel were a very interesting time because Daytona was coming up.
A little bit higher, and then just give that a clap.
It's pretty cool coming here to Daytona and having this world-class field assembled. I want to be the fastest. I want to break all the records. I want to be the best. And all of a sudden, like, yeah, I was picking up a lot of followers. I was starting to have different new conversations with sponsors, and it started to feel like, okay, like suddenly I'm being talked about as a performer, not just the class clown. There was still very much this dialogue from the top athletes: we're gonna lap Sam at Daytona, and we're gonna prove to Sam that the big bare leg brawl wasn't anything and that he doesn't have what it takes. But I do know sponsors were taking notice, and a lot of fans were starting to follow me and give me encouraging messages and just saying, like, we really love the personality you brought. Oh, it's been so fun following you. And so it finally felt like I got a carrot instead of constantly getting the stick, getting, whipped. It was finally from fans like, wow, your personality is a shining gem in this sport, and we've really appreciated that. So that encouraged me to keep being me. Yeah, so St. George, there's races. Sometimes the winner of a race isn't, and let me be clear, at St. George, Lionel was both the winner of the race, but also a respected member of that race. But there's a lot of times where the winner of the race is not actually respected within the race. And I don't mean in the bigger triathlon community, but with how they race that individual race. They don't take polls. They basically use other people as their pawns or their toys, and then they might just out sprint someone at the end. And St. George, that whole day evolved. It was me and it was Lionel, and we were dealing all of the punches to everyone else, and everyone was going with our rhythm, but it was me and Lionel delivering all the punches, and we were just switching off, on that bike. It was, okay, I'm pulling, he's pulling, I'm pulling, he's pulling, and then we got on the run. I mean, it was the same thing. The final 4 miles was all downhill. I had a feeling I'd be able to catch him, and sure enough, I caught him with 5K to go, and then we ran, just stride for stride, and both just kept upping the tempo and upping the tempo. You want to think we could go faster, and then we just kept pushing each other and kept pushing each other. Lionel raced brilliantly. Then that final 400 meters, he put in this huge attack, huge surge, dropped me, and I just couldn't bridge up. And I've played that in my mind, a million times now, and would love to have another go at that final 2 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the Lionel Sanders chapter was such a critical and important chapter in my life, but I've started to look past that chapter, and I look back and I reminisce on that chapter actually with great fondness. It was really fun. I can just see, the young, brash Sam, so eager to prove himself, so eager to do anything, and really trying to pick a fight. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to pick a fight to prove myself, and now that's not really what's needed. Not with Lionel, and maybe not with anyone right now. There's bigger fish to fry than Lionel for sure in this sport. The scale in the time lapse that things went from being like, okay, I'm, a nobody, I'm the class clown, to basically being your USA #1, you're representing the US.
From Boulder, Colorado, Sam Long.
At the biggest race of the year for the Collins Cup. All that happened in, a year basically, a little over a year, was like, okay, take this all in and soak it up and enjoy the ride. I've completely superseded everything I thought. There was definitely pressure, and I had a feeling my matchup at the Collins Cup was going to be tough.
To the men, and Europe first of all, please.
Jan, please, you're the first guy.
Another strong start as Jan Frodeno comes to the stage.
We have chosen to go up against Jan Frodeno, the strongest legs in the sport. Yo, 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 Sam Long.
It's juicy. It's very, very juicy.
Truthfully, like at a above cognate level, I thought, or at a brain level, I thought, okay, I can beat Jan. But at a soul level, I didn't believe I could beat him.
Well, yo, I should say. What's up? I got a question for you, Mr. Lionel. Who are you rooting for in this matchup? Are you rooting for Sam Long, the underdog, or are you rooting for Jan Frodeno, the GOAT?
Sam, I love you, buddy. I love the underdog. Always rooting for the underdog. Jan, I love you too, buddy. But I hate to break it to you both. My money's on Sam Appleton.
Hey Lionel, thanks very much for commenting on the battle you're not involved in. You're about 6 weeks late on the banter, but welcome to the club. Anytime you're ready, buddy. Anytime you're ready, come join the boys play.
Jan's a genius. I mean, Jan is, the race doesn't start on race day. The race doesn't start when that gun goes off. It starts as early as you can get in the competitors' heads. And Jan understands this better than anyone else.
I'm a race now, somebody's trying to have a crack, and it's cool. It's really interesting, you know, you build up a little reputation, and of course the young kids are coming up and smack talking.
I think where I underestimated him is in his mind games. I knew the athlete he was, but I think he almost played this trick where he disarms me race week.
I just saw Sam Long get in the water. I feel it's my duty as a former lifeguard to step in here and save him. We don't want any accidents. It's the first hottest cup ever, and we don't want any trouble. See if I can get it. Rodeo style. Yes! We saved him! We saved him!
I need the lifeboat.
That's right, man. We've done the safety. We leave no one behind.
It's good to know you'll be there for me tomorrow. You know, it was like really nice. He just seemed so relaxed and so calm and just joking around. I thought like, oh, you know, maybe he's not like that serious about the race. And oh boy, was I wrong, because then he just unleashed fury on me. And so, yeah, I mean, certainly a misstep. If you're gonna race Jan, you have to be 100% on your A game. I mean, to be honest, the Collins Cup was just an absolutely embarrassing experience for me. And also, yeah, I mean, it was a bad day to have a bad day.
And in we go. Conditions so different from when we had match one, when the women got this Collins Cup underway. You can see the water now, no longer beautiful and glacial. It is choppy out there.
It's not that I didn't want to bring everything there, but I just didn't. I didn't do things right that week.
Look at that gap immediately open. Jan Frodeno and Sam Appleton. And now Sam Long just has to limit that damage.
I hemorrhaged so much time in this swim, something like 4 minutes and 50 seconds. You know, obviously getting a little rattled a little bit, having no one around me, not even being able to see where I was going. And but then I got on the bike, or I got out of the water, and I was kind of like, okay, let's see what you can do. And yeah, I just got nowhere. I didn't even get close. I didn't get any closer on the bike. And then I started the run, and I actually had a decent run. But again, I mean, Jan was just doing what Jan does, and he was out front, and he was showing me how it was done, and just didn't show up to perform at the level required. It sucks. I mean, I lost them in the first 15 meters of the swim and never got close again, so that was a humiliating experience. To be honest, I think what's really the most salient is getting my ass kicked. I mean, nobody can imagine what I went through in that Collins Cup, being the #1 ranked American, wanting to race Jan, wanting to, you know, really have this big matchup and at least swim close to him and give a fight. And even if I got beat, have a fight like I had at St. George, and then, you know, within 2 minutes of that, be so far back, and then just feeling like I let, you know, my teammates down, I let the USA down in the Collins Cup, and I let myself down, and I just focus on the pain of that moment, and that pain is greater than that, and I think about not having that pain in the future, and that's what gets me going. Yeah, I canceled Christmas, and what I've just started to realize now, and I realized this at the Collins Cup facing Jan, is there's no shortcuts. You have to put your time in, and talent is great and all, but hard work is what matters, and not just, okay, I work really hard 300 days of the year, and then, you know, I really celebrate. It's like I have to be committed all the time, and I have to sacrifice all that stuff, and I have to get my ass in the pool and swim to make up for that, and there's no time off. That has to happen basically 365 days a year. I mean, I have to be improving every single month or every single week in the swim in order to get to where I want to be. hard work is what matters. I guess I'm focusing on each individual race, and I'm kind of focusing it on it as like a big battlefield, and I see each individual race as an individual battle, and I'm not focusing on the whole season as one thing because it would almost feel inconquerable, but I'm focusing on each race, and I know the plan. If I perform how I need to at each race, that's going to put me where I want to be. I think we're going to see me continue to improve, and I mean, the races are starting here soon, and I've been working hard in the dark, and people felt that I improved a lot last year, and I feel I've improved even more this year, and so it's all about that improvement curve, and once you've made it to the top, you know you can be at the top, and you know you belong at the top.
Does Sam have what it takes to become the best in the world?